Given the feedback that I've got consistently from this group, I'm not going to demonstrate local variety. Because you know that would be a big flop. What I am going to do, however, though, is talk about some of the theory behind local variety. And then we're going to try something that I think is going to be really fun. We're going to try a bit of an exercise. It's going to be a hands-on exercise and you're all going to get involved. First thing I do is I have a handout. And for those of you on Zoom, I've just chatted it to you. So you have it there. You can just pass this around. I'm going to go through this very quickly. Point. Because the theory part of this is something that you can read. You don't need telling you about local variety. This is my impression of all the different things that are involved in local variety. You got your pitch, so that's when you can raise your pitch, you can create excitement or enthusiasm, or you can lower it, talk about something that's serious and important. Pace is you can go slowly to emphasize important information, or speed up to build momentum. Volume, you don't want to struggle with that. You can speak loudly to emphasize, or you can speak softly to create intimacy or suspense. Pauses. I'm going to take a pause and list for a second here to give you a pause story. One of the things that pauses can help you emphasize points, but they can also be used tactically. And I think the best pause that I ever used, I'm going to share my best pause that I ever used. I was at a celebration of life. I was giving a eulogy kind of. And a celebration of life is, you need to do some things. You need to list all the important parts about the person. You need to talk about how good they were, but you also need to get the group comfortable with you. Well, this was my mother-in-law and a group of like 250 people, and I was nervous as heck. Even though I'd done Toastmasters for a while, like when you're doing something like that, I'm a crier, there's emotions in play. And so I needed to get myself at peace and get them at peace, and I did it through a pause. So I started my speech, and it is a speech, I started it like this. They say when you're nervous, you're supposed to picture your audience in their underwear. That's got them comfortable with me, and I was able to go on. So that was a pause. It was a strategic pause, but it's one that I just happened to use and it seemed to work. Tone is the next on the list, so you can be warm and friendly. You can exert compassion that way. Inflection talks about rising inflection for questions or falling to make statements or assertions. So you could rise to a case of question, or you can make an assertion by slowing it down. Emphasis draws attention and can reinforce importance. Rhythm, short and long sentences, vary those and can help create or take away emphasis from what you're saying. Expression conveys authenticity and passion, and modulation is really a culmination of a bunch of things. It's a culmination of tone, pitch, volume, and pace, and it can help you maintain audience interest. That's a theoretical part of what I wanted to talk about. That's it. Now I'm going to get to the exercise on the fun part. I kind of understand that. Actually, let's start with this, all right? Even people online, I'd like you to do this. I'd like you to picture, make believe your finger of your hand, make believe your hand is a gun, point at something. I want you to do that. Now I want you to close one eye and aim to sight it. Now remember what you're doing and remember which eye is open. Do it again. Which eye is open? Okay, remember that because it's important. Right? It's going to make a difference here. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Your brain is made of two hemispheres. You've got the left hemisphere, which is, we'll call it the logic part. It's part that reasons, where there's facts, there's numbers, there's how you build conclusions through facts. And then there's the right side, which is the creative side, the musical side, the passion side. And you need to mesh those two things. Give you kind of an example. If I said X is larger than Y is larger than Z, you could logically deduce that Z is larger than X. Now, depending upon which side of the brain you use, probably the left side. We said, well, logically, X larger than Y, larger than Y, so X is larger than Y. But if you use the creative side of your mind, you might have actually pictured the letter X, pictured the letter Y, pictured the letter Z, placed them in space, and then spatially use the right side of your brain to figure out which one was larger. The eye that you use, the eye that was open, is the likely 99% probability the logical side of your brain. So who had the right eye open? Who had the right eye open? Okay, who had their left eye open? Normally, people use the left side of the brain as the logical side and the right side as the creative side. Not everybody, but that's the way it normally is. There's other ways to figure out the logical side of your brain. Do this with your hands. Which hand is on top helps determine the logical side of your brain. When you walk downstairs, the first step that you use, that side of your body, the logical side of your brain. What's another one? Oh, right-handedness or left-handedness. So if you're right-handed, probably the left side of your brain is your logical side. So I'm just going to call it the left side because that's probably what's dominant here. So the left side of the brain. Here's what I want you to do. You've all seen this before. Hopefully it shows up on screen. This is a common optical illusion of two profiles, and you can see the profile or you can see the base, one or the other. Now I'm going to get you to draw something. I got extra paper if you want. I want you to draw, depending upon what eye you use. So if your left eye was open, I want you to draw the left side here. If your right eye was open, I want you to draw the right side. So just draw the top line, the bottom line, and then draw the forehead, the nose, the lips, the chin, and the neck. The top line, bottom line, top of the head, forehead, nose, lips, chin, neck.
They just draw that.
Just draw that. Just draw that. So this is the exercise.
Yeah, I killed it. It's gonna be all of ink now. It was my favorite.
All right, we can wait till later.
Okay, just go ahead.
No.
It's not gonna be.
No, just the top of the head, forehead, the eye sockets, the nose. Just one side, not the whole thing. All right, you do that on the logical side of your brain. Great. Now I'm going to emphasize that one more time. I want you to just a silhouette now. I want you to go again slowly. To retrace what you did for the head. Just retrace it. The head, the forehead, the eye socket, the nose, the lips, the chin, neck. One more time. I want you to retrace it one more time. Head, forehead, eye socket, nose, lips, chin, and neck. All right. Now I want you to, from top to bottom, draw the other side of the face.
Draw what?
Draw the other side of the vase.
Oh.
Oh, boy. I'm not good at drawing.
Perfect.
Yeah, not a chance.
Just my weaknesses exposed, no big deal.
Not a chance.
So this is the audience participation part. How did drawing the other side feel?
Awkward.
Awkward.
Yeah. Why do you think it felt awkward? I'll tell you why, but.
Because we did the one side 3 times. It's in your head that way. Then you go to the opposite. You can't do it because your brain has been used to doing it 3 times.
And
You also changed the wording. You said to draw the other side of the vase, not the face.
absolutely. So
Oh.
both of those things are correct. So what happened is by saying head, forehead, eye socket, nose, lips, chin, neck, I was tapping into the left side or the logic side, your left brain. And I reinforced that by doing it 3 times. So 3 times we did the left brain. And then all of a sudden, we had to go to the creative side of your brain. And something wasn't working. So it just didn't feel right. Like I'm using the creative side of my brain, but I just did the logical side and there's no connection there. So there's something called the corpus callosum, which is a bunch of nerves that connect both sides of the brain. And doing that exercise logically and then having to go visual without a segue to make that happen made it difficult and challenging for just about everybody that does this. Some people do it because they immediately click into visual. They go, okay, I'm just going to mirror image these, and they immediately escape. But some people, most people, just say, wait a minute, this is a left side exercise, but you're asking me to do the right side, so it doesn't work right. I think that public speaking or making speeches is the same way. So in school, we learn how to write a really good speech. And then we get in front of the class, and all the teacher says to us is, don't be nervous. They don't tell us how to engage the left side of the brain. As an audience, if all you learn or all you hear is facts and figures and logic, that's all that's being presented to you. That's your left side taking that, and you don't engage the right side of your brain. So there's 3 things I think that help people engage the right side of the brain. One of them is vocal variety. Another one is gestures. And third is props. And Speechcraft doesn't talk about props, but I think that's just another handy way to make people engage the right side of their brain. I use 3 props here today. And whenever I make a speech that I want to make compelling in a certain way, I use props. So one of the props was a handout. So you have something tangible. Another prop was the this thing, just a visual.
Vase.
Yeah. Anyone know what the third prop was?
Us?
Yeah, your hand. Yeah, so you use your hand. So that was the third prop. Good for you. So that's it. So that's my logic. Use both sides of the brain. If you want to make a good speech, training and education would tell you that you need good content. If you want to make a powerful and memorable speech, you need to engage both sides of the brain, and you need to use gestures, vocal variety, and props.